my divine souls. Welcome to Spiritual Bloom, where we bloom within our consciousness with your spiritual guide and twin flame coach Neha. This is the second episode where we will be discussing about the different kinds of addictions in a twin flame journey and how it is blocking your union and your growth. So yesterday we spoke about the different kinds of addictions. That was work addiction, which led to materialistic addictions, dopamine addictions, and how substance addictions affects your health, and how does the universe plays its role when it has to stop someone from getting out of such addictions. So today we will be talking about different kinds of addictions that impacts your journey. So these counterparts, they have this another kind of addiction that is called dopamine addiction. So remember that every addiction, it has one thing in common, that is dopamine, which is quick pleasure, instant gratification and temporary relief. But healing requires patience, presence and discomfort. And this patience, presence and discomfort is what many people don't want to go through. They want to achieve union, but they don't want to go through patience, presence and discomfort. The counterparts, they want to come out of that toxic marriage, toxic third parties, toxic family dynamic, work dynamic, material dynamic, but they don't want to practice patience, presence and discomfort. And that is why many times the divine masculines, even though being aware about the truth of their toxicity, being aware about the truth that they are in a toxic marriage, toxic relationship, toxic health dynamic because of their chasing, running behind things and work, they are aware, but they don't want to practice it in real life. They don't want to make changes in the real life. Why? Because it requires patience, presence and it is very discomforting. They are very much attached to their comfort zones and they don't like to come out of it. And that is what triggers them. When they understand that they are in a toxic dynamic and they know that they have to come out from there sooner or later, that is what triggers them, and they don't want to come out from their comfort zones. So this kind of dopamine addiction is very dangerous, which is very common in all kinds of addictions. So there is one more addiction in this twin flame journey, that is love, or the twin flame addiction, the addiction towards your counterpart. This is the most dangerous kind of addiction. This specifically happens with the divine feminines, mostly during the initial stages of the journey. Obsessing over your twin, checking their social media, waiting for them, chasing them, waiting that they will reply your text, your calls, or waiting for them to get divorced somewhere else so that he'll come back to you and settle down with you, or waiting that he will give you commitment, he or she will give you commitment. This is not love, my dear. This is not love. That is called attachment or codependency. So in this process, when you're addicted to your twin, your counterpart, and that addiction feels like a drug, that is not love. That is attachment. That is codependency. And when your happiness depends on them, what happens? You lose yourself. You lose yourself in the process. Your counterpart is busy in their own life, making money, building their life, doing better each day, trying to bring stability into their lives, earning more, buying properties, doing this, doing that. And what are you doing? Crying, weeping, feeling miserable, having depression episodes every day, chasing them, feeling sympathizing yourself, feeling pity for yourself. That, oh my god, so sad, he doesn't love me, she doesn't love me. What a miserable life I've got. That is what you do, right? So when your happiness depends on them, it's the most dangerous kind of addiction. And in that process, you lose yourself. You lose yourself, you lose your career, you lose your years, you lose the person that you are. If you are a very happy-go-lucky person, you lose that. You become a very serious, silent person, as if you have been hit by some electric shock recently. You don't realize that, chasing someone will not bring that person into your life. Instead, it will make that person run away from you. You chase, and your counterpart feels that energy and they run. They don't come to you, they run. So you need to be grounded and rooted in your own space and energy, and lock yourself into that energy. Just imagine yourself, draw a circle or a square on the floor imaginatively, or you can draw with a chalk also if you want to. Make yourself stand in that area where you have drawn a circle or a square, and think that you are grounded in that space. Don't let yourself or your energy get out of that square or circle. Neither allow your counterpart's energy to come into that circle or square. I mean to say, keep yourself grounded, keep yourself rooted in that space, because that space is your sacred, precious and private space, and nobody has the right, nobody, not you, not your counterpart, to distribute your precious energy like that to your counterpart. Neither do they have the right to cross their limits and boundaries and do whatever they feel like with you. They can't do that, but they can do if you let them, which is wrong. That's why I said draw a circle or a square and ground yourself. Just every day, just imagine yourself in that position, that you are grounding yourself in that square or circle, where nobody is supposed to come in and you are not supposed to go out. Sometimes you have to respect your energy and not chase anybody, and not be codependent on anybody. Why? Because that is going to hamper you, hamper your life and hamper your health. The precious years, I'm talking here about the feminines who are young, fresh. That does not mean, it does not include the feminines who are old. It includes them too. It affects your health. But I'm talking about the young ones, because my dear ones, you are losing the precious years of your life. The years where you should have been building your career, where you should have been building and working on your education. You're running behind a chap, a brat, a person who is either divorced or supposed to be divorced, there's no surety, or is dating someone else, sleeping around with people who does not respect your presence and you being a blessing in their life. So you need to understand that very clearly where you are going. You keep on chasing, you keep on running behind that person, but the years, the precious years that you are losing, right, that is never going to come back. Never. Instead of doing that, you do what you are supposed to do. Do your work. They are building, they are making their life, they are building, they are buying properties, assets. What are you doing? Laying eggs. Think about it. Your family has also educated you, or you are capable of doing something in your life. You have hands, legs, right? You are not deaf, dumb. You are not stupid. God has given you a brain. Utilize it. Do something. Earn a living for yourself. And if you are not of that age where you are still studying, concentrate on your studies so that you can build your life. Be independent. Your counterpart is not going anywhere. If it is destined in your luck, it has been written by the universe. He cannot escape. They can't go anywhere. Where will they go? Even if they will go to another continent, another country, they have to come back. The universe is going to drag them back. But you have to understand that reality and not waste your precious time, years, and especially your health. So this is a very sensitive and dangerous kind of addiction where you are codependent on your counterpart. It just does not take away your years, your good health. It also takes away a piece of you. Like I told you, if you are a very happy-go-lucky person, your entire personality changes and you're no longer that person. So don't let that happen with you. Don't let anybody make you feel that you are less. You are not less. You have been chosen here for a purpose. How can you be less? If they are building material things in this 3D, even you have the capacity and capability of doing the same. That's why you are in this journey, because you need to understand your worth, your potential. Why are you here? You're not here to lay eggs. You're here to do something powerful that impacts the masses, that impacts the collective. I never thought that I will be educating and having my own channel and I have to lead. I never thought, not in my wildest dreams, not even when I came to know about this journey. I used to think that this work is not for me. But just see where I am. I had to, because this was my calling. This is my purpose. In my case, there was nobody to tell me that you are losing out your years. And I did. I lost many years. Because half of the time it took me to understand what is this journey. Second half, it took me to understand that I should be chasing or I shouldn't be chasing. There was nobody to explain me. But in your case, if you are listening to this, you are lucky that someone is here to tell you. And this is my work. That's why I'm here. To make you aware that you don't have to run. You have to ground yourself. You have to anchor yourself. So try to understand and accept it before it's too late. Okay? And we'll be talking about one more, that is the last addiction, which is the intimacy, sexual addictions. This is also a very dangerous one, I must tell you. Many masculines, they sleep around. They think that, they get instant gratification, pleasure, and they do it. But in case of the divine feminines, they realize that the instincts doesn't allow them to have intimacy with anybody else other than their counterpart. But even if with their counterpart, there are some boundaries. For example, you cannot keep on getting intimate with your counterpart because it drains you. Now I'll tell you why it drains you. A person who comes from a very low vibration, who is unawakened, when they have intimacy with someone who has a high vibration and who has done some kind of inner work in their life, that thing can never match. It will never match. Why? Because these two are different frequencies. One is in 0.01%, just giving an example, and another one is in 5.1%. So how can 0.01% match with that 5.1%? The person who is in low vibration has to reach that 5.1% to be capable of being in absolute love and sharing that intimacy with the other person. Otherwise, what happens? The inner work that you have done, you will drain out. because your counterpart is not awakened, they don't understand anything. So you will just feel the urge of making love, of getting intimate, even at the cost of draining yourself. But that is unhealthy, and that is not allowed. The more you keep yourself away from your counterpart, the more good it is going to be. And that also amplifies the awakening of the counterpart. The more you stay away from your counterpart's awakening will speed up. Otherwise, you keep on going, you keep on getting intimate, you drain, you come back. They have a need, and they come to you when they have the need. And when their needs are met, they forget you. They don't even recognize you, who the hell you are. So you need to understand that intimacy is a very secret thing, is very sacred in this dynamic. So you have to be careful with whom you are sharing intimacy and in which level of your inner work you are sharing intimacy with your counterpart. I'm not saying that you cannot be intimate with your counterpart. The universe gives you chances through union and reunion where you can get intimate with your counterpart, but it depends on where you have reached in your inner work, your journey. If you are very fresh, I recommend not to have any kind of such intimacy with your counterpart, because it will be not healthy for you. You need to focus on your inner work rather than focusing on getting intimate or getting closer to your counterpart. You need to make them thirsty, like you need to keep yourself away. That is how they are going to miss you. Realize that you are their counterpart, then they'll start working, they'll have that awakening. No, if you keep on going near them, you keep on fulfilling their lust, it's going nowhere. You'll only be left with fulfilling their lust only. You will never get that place where you're supposed to be, the divine feminine. So keep yourself celibate and try to think and focus on yourself. This journey, of twin flame journey, many people, they say that it's a myth, it's a false, it's a lie, it's this and that. But I'm telling you, it's no less than the harder life of a monk. We might look normal, we might look modern on the outside, clicking pictures, going to cafes, well educated, working in offices, studying in institutions. But we twin flames, we have this roadway, this map, which is very tough. From a normal person, suddenly you are expected to be a celibate. From a normal person, you're suddenly expected to stay alone in isolation. From a normal person, suddenly you're expected to focus on yourself, on healthy habits, quit any kind of addictions which a normal person does. So it's a roadway to becoming a monk, but less than that. I'm not comparing here myself to a monk, but I'm saying that the roadmap is almost the same, but less than them. Their life is more harder, extremely hard. I'm not comparing here, so please don't get offended. But suddenly you'll bring a child from nursery to class 5. That child won't be able to understand. So that is the condition of the divine feminine and masculines. It's difficult. I am a twin. I know. I have been there. Everywhere, every step, test and trials, it doesn't end. Inner work doesn't end. I still do my inner work. What do you think? I'm educating here. I don't do my inner work. I do. There's so many inner work. Inner work means not just sitting and doing meditation, no. Previously I used to think it that way. Inner work is very different. The depth of inner work you will nowhere find in YouTube. I will bring this episode to you. Inner work is not just meditating. Because there are many religions where people, they don't meditate. They have different forms of praying. So inner work is not just meditating. It's beyond that. It's understanding It's like understanding your digestive system and having a control over it, that you're supposed to eat herbs and not spicy food. That is what actual inner work is. So I'll be talking about this very soon. So I hope you like the second episode on addictions and a twin flame journey. If you want, you can repeat and listen to both the episodes. Fix it inside your mind, write it down if you want to, and try to follow. It takes a lot of energy to make such videos, but I make these videos with the intention that it reaches you, so that you understand this journey in depth, and not like me. I was like a fool. There was nobody for me to make me understand. It was very difficult. It was very challenging. So you please write it down. Whatever notes suits your situation, try to apply it. And like I said, wear your oxygen mask first before helping others. You need oxygen right now. The oxygen supply of others is already decided by universe. You don't have to worry about that. They will get their supply of oxygen. You need to worry about your oxygen mask and your oxygen supply. So thank you for tuning in, listening to my episode, supporting me every time. I love you all. Gratitude, love to each and every one of you. And I'll see you soon again in the next episode. For any kind of personal guidance, you can WhatsApp or email me. My contact details have been given in the description box and mentioned in the video as well. See you soon. Take care.